Hey, we're going to see if you're American enough. It's a strange question, but most of our history, that question has already been answered. If you're a citizen, that was it, you would think. But lately, that question's being asked again, not out loud, not officially, but in practice. Here we'll explore how this comes out and it's being played on the streets of America every day. The question is, what does American even mean? America was never supposed to be about appearance, accent, religion, conformity. It was supposed to have been about principles. The Constitution doesn't say your rights depend on how you look. I mean, you get ICE agents saying, oh, you don't look like you belong here. You don't sound like you belong here. I mean, it's just some serious racial profiling to the extreme. It doesn't say your rights depend on whether someone believes you belong. Citizenship was meant to be a shield, not a suspicion. So when did American stop being enough? Return of the show, your papers. Was 1930s Germany the last time? That phrase doesn't come from freedom. It comes from systems where power demands proof before rights. In America, rights are supposed to come first. You shouldn't have to prove your innocence. You shouldn't have to prove your identity to exist freely in public. And yet people are being stopped, detained, questioned, assaulted, beaten, and even shot. Not because of probable cause, not because of warrants, but because of assumptions. What you look like, the color of your skin. I'd like to take this point and look at a video here just to show you an example of so many out there that we could spend hours upon hours going through this, but this is just an example I'll use. I'll talk to you on the other side.
Hey, what you doing? Hey! Fuck you! Hey, my guys! Fuck you!
You guys are all on video.
No, listen. No, don't take my phone. Hey, they got my phone!
Where in some paperwork for that?
Where's the...
They do it on target. They do it on target.
Hey, don't! Stand up.
Where are their points?
Hey, the whole worker!
Anybody else going to ask where the fuck the warrants are? You guys don't have the right.
What's your name? What's your name?
Jonathan Aguilar Garcia. I'm literally a U.S. citizen.
Give us a phone number.
U.S. citizen.
Get the fuck out of here, Ray.
Why are you kidnapping a citizen?
There.
Why are you? Why?
Sir, give us your phone number. We'll call your family. Give us your phone number.
You shouldn't call his family. At least call his family. Wait, you want your family to know?
I literally have my passport. My fucking passport.
Let him get out his passport.
What's your name? What's your name? We'll find your family. Christian, what's your last name?
What? Hey! Get back there now!
Give us what's the phone number we should call?
That's my mom.
That's your mom. We'll call you. And your first name's Christian, right?
Here we're going to look at when enforcement expands without accountability. We're living in an age of no accountability from the ICE agents all the way up the chain of command, if they have one. There's no system that's dangerous because of bad intentions alone. Systems become dangerous when power grows faster than oversight. We have a superpower vacuum sucking the life out of our country. The agencies operate with vague authority Little accountability, mistakes become routine. And you can see it every day. Routine mistakes ruin lives. U.S. citizens have been detained during enforcement actions. Some have been injured. Some have been held for hours or longer. And often nothing happens afterwards. There was a interview of a couple of observers that were U.S. citizens that were taken into custody. They were threatened. They were bribed to turn in other immigrants. They were humiliated as much as they could. They persevered after 7 hours or so. I think they were in the Whipple Detention Center. And they come out the other side very disappointed with what's been happening on the inside. And it just, they don't get charged with anything. I think 90% of them that are U.S. citizens taken into custody are not charged. They're just held and taken their freedom away for a few hours and see if that does anything. But potentially, I think the tactics will change in form of a psychological warfare, per se. And then, after they're released, no apology, no discipline, there's no reform on the side of the ICE. And it's not going to have anything done unless something happens from the top down. The ICE agents are very, if you look at them, for me, being a military veteran, they're unprofessional. They lack any discipline. They wear uniforms that look like it's mismatched, and a lot of them try to look like they're military, which they're not. Why should they be carrying a full basic load, as we call it in the military, with magazines to carry 5.56 rounds and stuff? I mean, they're not going out to do an assault on an objective and kill a bunch of the enemy. And they look at U.S. citizens as the enemy. They're going to be using these rifles against us. It's not enforcement. You don't see police officers carrying long guns, as we call them, and they don't need to do that unless they engage into a situation where they're going to have a shootout, where they need that. So it's just going to be a long road to any place to get a reform. And right now, the public trust is breaking down very badly. This isn't about immigration. It's about power. Let's be clear about something. This isn't an argument about immigration. It's not about borders. It's not about who came here legally or illegally. It's just about power. Because when people talk about enforcement, what they really are talking about, who gets stopped, who gets questioned, who gets treated as suspicious, often without cause. And once the government claims that authority to stop people just to check, that authority doesn't stay limited to just one group. Power never does. History shows us over and over again. Emergency powers become routine, exceptions become policy, and the safeguards quietly disappear. We are changing from a democracy to an autocracy. Dangerous, slippery slope with what ICE is doing. When enforcement agencies are allowed to act first and explain later, and that's usually to their viewpoint and no one else's, the issue is no longer immigration. It's unchecked authority, clearly. Because rights are only real if they apply before someone proves who they are. In a free society, the government has to justify stopping you. You don't have to justify existing. That moment has flipped permanently now, as it seems. When people expect to be proved they belong just to move freely, that's no longer security, that's control. And here's the uncomfortable truth. If power can be used on someone else without accountability today, it can be used on you tomorrow. It'll affect every citizen here in this country. Not because you did something wrong, but because systems don't run on intentions, they run on permissions. Again, this is not about immigration. It's about whether citizenship still means protection or whether it becomes conditional. Because once powers expand beyond the law, it doesn't ask who voted for it. It doesn't ask who supported it. It can only ask one thing. Can it get away with it? And if the answer is yes, freedom doesn't disappear overnight. It erodes quietly, legally, and one reasonable check at a time. This isn't about immigration. It's about power. When you bring up this conversation, it gets shut down real fast by those on the far right, and then on the left doesn't want to get involved as much as I think they do, but we'd like to see what happens. People hear criticism and assume it's anti-law enforcement, pro-crime. It's neither. It's about power, because once the government decides it can question anyone, stop anyone, or detain anyone without consequence, that power never stays limited. History has shown us that clearly. Slippery question here. Who decides? So who decides if you're American enough? A badge, a database, a gut feeling, the color of your skin, the tone of your voice? What happens when citizenship becomes conditional? What happens when your rights depend on compliance instead of law? The moment freedom becomes fragile, truly becomes the moment. The personal reality here. I shouldn't have to carry my identity like a permission slip. I shouldn't have to wonder whether today is the day that someone decides I need to justify my existence. And neither should you. This isn't theoretical. This isn't abstract. This is what happens when fear replaces principles. What America should supposed to be, okay? America was supposed to be the place where government has the limits, where citizenship meant protection, not suspicion, where rights didn't depend on how obedient you looked. If we lose that, we lose the core of what made this country different. So I ask again, not as an insult, not as a threat, but as a warning. Are you American enough? Who gets to decide? Once freedom depends on permission, it isn't freedom anymore. So if this message matters to you, share it. Talk about it. Know your rights. Democracy doesn't disappear overnight. It erodes when people stop paying attention. And I'm a firm believer you've got to go out and protest. You've got to do something, because the government can do whatever they want. Yes, you go out protest and you get in harm's way, but good grief, it's in reality a call of arms. You just have your two arms, not a weapon. So if that's what defends you against the word of someone else, you've got to get out there and make it happen. Make a difference in the community, because those people out there that have all this happening to them need you, need all of us. We need to raise the alarm. Mainstream media isn't making it happen. So all of us collectively that can sound the alarm in whatever medium this could be, let's do it. And all I can say is that I'm proud to be an American, but I'm not proud of what's happening right now. After serving 27 years in the military, I want to see something better than this for my grandchildren and great-grandchildren. And I think you want the same thing too. You have a good day. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in. Stay curious, stay kind, and as always, have a wonderful rowdy. Take good care of yourself and each other. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. I'll see you in the next video.